Snapshot here, coming to you with another video. Today we're going to be looking at the radar on the F-16 and its multiple functions. Right now, between waypoint 1 and waypoint 2, we have a truck convoy that's moving in a northern position. So what we're going to do is we're going to deploy our, since we know that the convoy is moving, we're going to deploy our ground moving target radar, and we're going to go air to ground master mode. Level out the aircraft about 23,000. That'll be fine. Well, we're in air to ground master mode. We're going to set our laser guided bombs to CCRP, and we're going to take a look at our radar. So in order to get the ground moving target radar up, we're in ground mapping right now. We'll press this button above ground mapping, and it brings up our list of all the rest of them. And we want ground moving targets, so it'll be highlighted right here. It'll be the second button on the right. And now we're in ground moving target. So what this does is the radar is going to sweep back and forth, and it's going to tell us that if something's moving that's out of place, it'll show it as a little white dot. Now if we freeze the radar, we can see that that little white dot has already showed up right here. And since our ground moving target radar is are automatically slaved to the targeting pod, all we would do is go over here to bring our targeting pod up, and we'll cast down on that little white dot. We'll lock it, cursor 0, and we're going to have to zoom in. So now that we can see that we have that little white dot over here on our radar, we can go ahead and lock it up, and there we have our convoy. So we're going to switch from TV to white hot, black hot, and I guess we're pretty good with black hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our autopilot off, and we're going to steer to that point. And if you notice in my HEMIX, it brings up that point as that little square with the little dot in the middle of it. That's where the convoy is. So we're going to steer over to that point, and we're going to get a single target track by we're going to make the targeting pod soy, and we're going to look for a single vehicle that stands out, which is right there. We want to make him our target. So we got him locked in single target track. Now we're going to come over and arm our bomb, and we want to bring our laser online. We're 5 seconds to drop. Here comes our dropping cue. And we're going to hold the pickle button, and it's going to activate the laser and pickle. So what we're going to do is we're going to back the targeting pod out just a little bit, and we're going to guide that bomb holding that pickle button to keep that laser active the whole time. I'm going to slow down here because we don't need to be going fast anymore. And shack. There goes that Ural. So our high value target has been taken out, and we have completed our mission. Alright, we're going to start mapping out our runway. So we know our runway is approximately 50 miles out. We're going to slow down a little bit. We're going to get down to about 350 knots. And we're, like I said, we're at about 50 miles. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our radar azimuth. We're going to close the gap up a little bit. We don't want to swing it that wide, so we can start getting a better picture a little faster. So we're at 10 miles. Okay, right there is where our picture is at. Then we're looking at water out here. So right here we want to expand it down to where we can start looking at our runway. We get it down to OBS 2, and we're 43 miles out, so we can start bringing this down to 40, and we should start coming into picture up here pretty quick. There it is. Our crosshair is starting to come into picture. And we're starting to swing, our radar is swinging side to side a little bit faster and a little bit faster as we close the gap. So really can't see very much right now because we're just so far out, and we're pretty high up, 27,000 feet. So what we're going to do is, when we get the radar down to, we're going to try and get down to 20 miles. We'll bring that radar in a little more. And we're going to reduce altitude. And I'm going to try and reduce our altitude down to about, we want to be around 18,000. $18,000 would be a good number. So you can see we're starting to build a picture of that coastline and the surrounding city around it, but it's still kind of hard to see everything. So we're going to zoom back in, OBS 2, and we're going to start building our picture. Every time the radar sweeps, it builds a better picture of what it is. So you actually start seeing that there's a runway right there. And we're down to 23 miles. So let's close the gap down a little more. And back to OBS 2. And let it build a picture. So every time the radar sweeps back and forth, it builds a little cleaner picture and a little cleaner picture. Bring it down to 10. And One thing you got to remember is it's really, really hard to build a picture when your nose hot. You have to be offset a few degrees because right over there is our runway. You have to be offset just like every other aircraft because the radar is kind of blind right in the front of it. So now we could take and freeze our picture, make a soy, and we could lock onto a target right here on our ramp and come over here and look at our targeting pod, make it soy, and see what that is. And there's our AWACS. That's how your ground radar works.